In this property, the primary concern is dampness at the top of the party wall. There are dribble marks, but there's also brown staining.
You have also, in my opinion, got condensation dribble marks, but it says 100% there. But that just means it's pretty saturated. It's drier down this end. So it's right in the middle there.
What is causing that?
Well, that's penetrating.
Brown stains result from water flowing through building material. When it's light, it tends to be from water flowing through just a brick wall. If it's a dark brown, it tends to be from water flowing through timber. Typically, it's from penetrating damp or a leak. Penetrating damp is rainwater, and a leak is clearly mains water, but occasionally condensation causes water to flow through building material, such as condensation forming on a window, flowing over the timber frame of the window. Here I'm using a radio frequency damp meter to identify areas of dampness.
It's not especially damp. It's not. No, it's fine. You can see the water coming through the penetrating damp. It's causing calcium sulfate salts to blister behind this paint, but it's coming from the outside.
So looking outside, we can see that there is a party wall. My understanding is this party wall is not part of the original property. It was built as part of a rear extension that the neighbours have all done. The wall is exposed, but then most party walls will be exposed. The typical wall will dry out without water flowing down to the room below, but sometimes they need coping stones. These are stones laid over the top. As an inexpensive alternative, you could put a bitumen felt cover over the top. It won't be visible, so I don't suppose anyone will be concerned by it. But of course, there could be planning permission and building regulations to consider. When it comes to flat roofs, it is always possible that there is a leak within the roof. However, you don't have dampness on the ceiling, it's on the party wall, suggesting that the leak isn't on the roof itself. But bitumen felt only has a life of about 50 years. Other zones of dampness, there are some damp patches to the rear of the property, such as this wall. It actually is not as damp as it looks. However, there is no kitchen ventilation and there's no bathroom ventilation. So these areas are at risk of condensation. Here in the thermal image, you can see where the heat loss is. This time of day, you can see heat gain in the metal along the plasterer's beading. At night, this will cause heat loss, which will increase the risk of condensation. Likewise, there's heat loss around the base of the wall next to the sink. Cold metal pipes from cold water coming into the property increase the risk of condensation, and in this case just a little bit of material is stopping airflow, increasing the surface relative humidity.
So that's been squeezed and probably leaks. The extractor fan element is here. That's obviously going to cause a problem. So what, sorry?
Because there's not. Should I get that rebrouted or?
Oh no, don't worry about that. But I'm seeing in here some slightly darker patches.
Yeah.
It's not 100% sure, and it sort of doesn't really matter. But I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have some hygroscopic salts here.
What does that mean?
They're salts that contain. They're salts that cause what's called deliquescence as a form of condensation, but it happens at normal levels of relative humidity.
So apologies for using this rather simple graphic, but I wanted to illustrate the water that is falling on the party wall. In most instances, the rainwater will just evaporate into the roof void, but in the case of a flat roof, there is no real roof void, and the water is liable to penetrate through to the top of the wall in the room below, as in your case. The simple solution is to cover the top of the party wall with coping stones, bitumen felt, or any covering that reduces the amount of water passing into the brick.